Hey, Time Slicers, welcome to Slice Squad Spills. I'm your host, Nikki Wildflower. I went from a basement apartment to a multiple seven-figure empire. Now I'm here to share how you can do it too. Hello.
Oh my gosh,
loud.
That was so loud. What the fuck? Hi.
I took 20 milligrams of Adderall XR today, and yeah.
She's
and
prescribed everyone, by the way. Like,
oh my gosh, yeah. Like you don't want to know me without Adderall. Trust me. It's Potatoeville, USA.
I'm zero today. I got none in here. So this is pure rogue brain.
I'm actually happier when I don't take it, but
Me too.
You know, the work's got to get done, baby.
Sometimes you got to do what you got to do.
Yeah. So anyways, hi, I'm Nikki Wildflower, and this is the Slice Squad Spills podcast, and I'm here with my co-host and sister, Jackie.
Hi.
And we just got back from a Disney trip.
And I'm wearing a Disney sweatshirt.
You're wearing your Disney hoodie. I love, see, this is what pisses me off about you.
I knew you were going to do this.
Yes. Before we went on the trip, you fucking made fun of me for being a Disney adult. You were like, I don't know. You said some cruel things about it. And then I see your post with your fucking hoodie
Caption.
And then your baby's hoodie next to it. And you're like, and you said something like, I'm proud to be a Disney adult.
No,
like,
owning the Disney adult title is what I made the caption.
Is she fucking kidding me? Is she fucking kidding me?
Maybe it was just to piss you off. Have you ever thought about that?
No.
Maybe think about it next time, because I'm a very sarcastic person. Maybe I was just trying to stir the pot, grind your gears just a little.
Stir it. Go ahead.
I really wasn't. Like after I don't have enough drama. After leaving Disney, I was feeling truly like a Disney adult. So the caption was legit.
Isn't it so good, Disney?
It's so good. You know what? Like the smells, the sounds, and here we go again into another episode where we talk about it. But just really quick, you know, I'm pregnant and everything smells more. And like, it just smells so good. We ate around the world in Epcot. And yeah, it was just like it's a vibe. It is. I mean, my body hurt really bad after, just from like carrying a little extra weight over here, but it was so worth it. And it was so fun. And so I was in the spirit, and I am owning the Disney adult title because we are Disney adults. You're just a little exacerbated in comparison to me.
Do you think was there anything like funny that happened on the trip? Because I can't recall.
Like so many things are funny all the time, but like I can't think of like one particular thing. Like, you know, normally mom falls at least once per year, but she didn't.
She didn't even fall this year.
We ate crab legs like savage beasts by the pool at like 9:00 at night. And the guy sitting next to us was like, "Oh, look at you guys go with the crab legs." I'm like, "Hey, I'm pregnant and it's what the baby wants to eat." And he's like, "That's not the baby that wants it. It's you." And I'm like, wow, that was kind of mean.
Yeah, I mean, it's true, though.
I know. I'm like, let me use my excuse. Leave me alone.
I'm like, I'm literally not pregnant. I just want crab legs a lot. And I'm not wearing the fucking gloves. I'm just digging in with my hands. I don't need to be inhibited by gloves. Jackie's like, I'm going to wear my gloves. I'm like, nah, I'm just going to wash my hands real good after this.
It's still got on my hands. The gloves don't do shit.
And something that I did work-wise on this trip that actually worked well for me, because I cannot take a week off of work. I Pomodoro'd the whole trip, but like opposite. So I would do like 30 minutes with the fam and then 5-minute work break, 30 minutes present and then 5-minute work break. And it worked really well because it made me feel like I could still get what I needed to get done. And it might sound sad to some of you, but like, this is my life. Obviously, like you're working in a service business, you don't actually have to work like that. I'm running like 2 startups right now. So that's expected and that's okay. This is the life I chose.
When you stepped away, I think you did certain like 30-minute Pomodoros while the like kids were napping and stuff that you were working. And you just like, you're like, "Hey, everyone, I'm just going to go do 30 minutes. And you like stepped away. And that worked perfectly fine. You were clear. Everyone was having a good time.
I was clear. I said, I don't want a hard time about it. This is just my life. I don't want to be told like, oh, you need to relax and da 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 da. Like that's not for me. That's for you, not for you. For like, you know, I was just waiting for mom to say her like,
room. Yeah, she
no.
would.
And I'm just, no.
You got to relax. That was the part I listened to our last episode. And the part that I was like cracking up about was like us talking about how mom's like, calm down.
You know? Okay, calm down. Bye. Let me just go do that. All right. So let's get into it. This episode is going to sting for some of you, but it's also going to resonate with a lot of you because if you're a hairstylist or a service provider right now who feels like you're burnt out, I hate to break it to you, Cookie, but you're not burnt out. You're bored and you're underpaid. And deep down, you probably know it. But it's way easier, I think, to slap the word burnout on it than to admit what's actually freaking happening, which is you built a business that you fucking hate.
Oh. Slam. I didn't know she was going to go that hard in the paint on that one. I will say, like, burnout is a true thing, and it's not a bad thing. Like, it's a thing. It's like pain's not a bad thing. It's a notification, right? Burnout's a real thing. But what we're talking about here is how people use the word burnout as like a buzzword sometimes. And that's not actually what's happening. And in that scenario,
I just don't think like you're not tired because you're so busy. You're tired because you're doing shit that you resent for people who don't respect your work.
Right.
At prices that you know are probably too low.
Right.
And if that hit your gut, good. Stick around.
Then keep listening, for real.
Yeah. Because here's the truth nobody wants to tell you. You're probably not burned out because of the work. You've probably been playing small for so long that your soul is like over it. So like, let me ask you something. When was the last time you raised your prices? When was the last time you learned a new high ticket skill? When was the last time you looked at your books and realized that you're doing, $300 services for $110?
When's the last time you implemented your policies or didn't, or tweaked them or refined them if they're frustrating you? When's the last time you refined your service menu in general and took away services that you absolutely hate doing, right?
You hit a ceiling years ago. You're not growing. You're not challenged. You're just clocking in and clocking out. That's why you feel burnt out. And now you start resenting your clients.
Which isn't fair to them.
No, it's not. And it's not because they're bad clients. It's because you trained them to treat you like this.
It's because you have bad boundaries. Because you have bad boundaries.
You taught them you're the yes girly.
Oh, the people pleasing, it's just not going to work for your life. Anyone, all of us, none of us, it doesn't work.
You taught them you'll stay late. You taught them you'll skip lunch. You taught them you'll squeeze them in. You taught them that
they could cancel last minute. Yeah.
I had to have a reality check with one of my consulting clients. And if you're listening, love you bad. But, they said they haven't been implementing their cancellation policy, even though they're super booked out stylists making like 4, 5, 6K a week. Almost every other week, they say like, oh, I would have hit 6K, but I had like a $600 cancellation. And I'm like, did you charge them? And then last week she said to me, yeah, I mean, I didn't, but this is not like a thing that happens all the time. I'm like, it happens. We meet once a week and it happens literally at least every other week. And if you calculate, you're probably losing about $25,000 a year. And she's like, oh God. And so we're working on that. We love our clients, but it's also taking the emotion out of business and making decisions that are business oriented. Part of it is it's boredom. It's the slow death of not having boundaries for too long. For playing small for too long, for not charging what you're worth for too long. Here's the other thing that like people love to say, it's my town. Like people here don't spend money. I had a consulting client in my chair yesterday. Like I have the pleasure. She lives in a town over from this town. And like, I live in a small town now. Her town's smaller, like much smaller than even the one that I live in. Okay. And I was really excited to have this conversation, but I got to do I have the pleasure of like being able to do her hair because she lives one town over. So I get to move up her slice strands and do her color every 6 weeks. So she was in the salon yesterday and she just finished slice strands and then she came into consulting literally a month ago. And she goes, Nikki. And I'm like, what? And she goes, I didn't know how fast my income was going to grow. And I'm like, tell me all about it. She's like, so I'm going to make 15K this month. I'm on track to make 15K this month. She's like, do you know how unfathomable that is? And I'm like, yeah. And she goes, and next month I'm going to hit 20. And I said, the fucking A you are.
That's right.
And she's just like, she was so in her power. And it was just like the most incredible feeling. And she was just saying how like most stylists in that town couldn't even like fathom being able to do that because they're like, it's my town. People here don't spend money. This is like a farming town. And
while these things may be logistically true or like the economy changing, like true, fair. Yes. That's not the whole story. That's not the full picture. And that does not have to mean anything for you. Ask yourself, are there people in this town, maybe in an adjacent industry even, that are thriving right now, fully booked and on a wait list? If yes, and probably yes, and if you haven't found someone that is, look harder. Okay. If yes, which answer is yes, I'm telling you right now, then your story is not valid about your town or the economy. It does not have to be your truth. Those things aren't mutually exclusive, right? Like, well, the economy's bad, so everyone's poor. Not true. There are billionaires, millionaires still existing freely in the world. Okay. I promise you.
When somebody says that to me, I'm like, then explain why I have stylists in farming towns making more than salon owners in LA.
Right. Right.
Okay. It's not your town. It's literally you. It's this.
Mhm.
It's your brain. It's you.
It's your mindset. It's your internal stories. It's what you tell yourself. It's what people told you. And you have to build the self-awareness and work on that and then take action that proves those stories wrong.
Yeah, exactly. And the worst part is that you're trying to solve that by working harder. And it's not the answer. Like by double booking, by adding more clients, by taking everyone and anyone. And you know where that road leads. It leads nowhere except straight
That's
to I don't
where
even
burnout comes from.
Yeah, except straight into I don't even want to do this anymore.
Yeah. I hate my clients, which is mean. And it's like they're just humans. Like you've done this again to repeat from before. Like you've done this. You accepted them as your client. You said yes when you wanted to say no. That's not on them. That's on you.
And it's also okay to communicate new boundaries with old clients. It really is.
Yes.
Even
It's
though
scary,
like
but
your
it's worth
ability
it.
to have hard convos is going to directly impact how you're going to grow, basically. Like, so you know what service providers and stylists are doing that are making 10, 20, 50K a month. They stopped adding more clients. That's what this person did. They stopped adding more clients and started adding more value per client, right? So they got laser focused on solving bigger problems. They stopped selling services and started selling solutions. That's the difference. Like they're not advertising like, oh, come get a balayage. I have availability. They're out here saying like, if your hair is thin and lifeless and you're sick of trying to fix it, I fix that. Or like if your hair looks dull, flat, lifeless, and you're sick of paying for color that doesn't last, I fix that. Like it's all about solving problems. So like they position themselves as an answer to an expensive problem, not a warm body behind a chair.
Ooh, a warm body behind a chair.
Yeah.
I like that. Interesting. I actually I had a meeting with a consulting client who went on a 3-month pause and is restarting in a month. And yesterday, and she was telling me that she finally implemented her price increase that her and her consultant kind of mapped out together. She announced it and she's like, I'm super shocked and surprised. Like my standalone haircut clients are the ones pushing back. And I'm like, I'm not that surprised about that. I also challenged her and asked, like, are those clients your ideal clients that you enjoy seeing and you want to keep seeing? And she's like, oh no. I'm like, okay, so what was the point of the price increase, right?
It's exactly what it was supposed to do.
Exactly. And, she was explaining to me how she's been like responding to people who have pushed back. And I'm like, you don't even have to over explain it. You don't even have to go that far. Thank them for their continued loyalty and refer them elsewhere if your new prices don't work for them. They're not up for debate. They're not up for negotiation. This isn't a fucking auction. Like you can't just name your price. These are my prices. I'm a business owner. This is legitimized. And that's it. I do appreciate, right? Listen, I did lose one client a few months after I did my price increase. They came once with the new increase and then did just share that their job changed and that my new rates didn't work for them. And I thanked them so much for their loyalty. And I invited them to, keep their eyes open. If I do any promos for whatever reason, I typically don't. Honestly, I don't really have like the space to see any more clients. And so it doesn't really make sense for me to offer a promo, but just to keep their eyes open just in case. And I referred them to an incredible massage therapist whose rates are a bit lower than mine, who works in the same space as me. And that's it. Like it's sad. I love that client and I hope to see them again. And maybe their circumstances will change or they'll be able to budget differently, but I cannot reduce my prices because my prices are set the way they are for a reason.
Yeah, exactly. You've built the demand and like you have to raise your prices accordingly. But the part that nobody really wants to hear about all this is like, if you don't fix this, you're going to wake up in 5 years, still double booking, still eating lunch at 4 p.m. in your car, and still scared to raise your prices because of the town, still resenting your clients. That's real burnout. Like, that's the part where you quit and say, I don't love this anymore.
I'm
I don't
going to
want to
do
do
something
it.
different.
Going to nursing school.
No more
Like-
nursing school. Enough. Okay.
And you don't hate it. You just hate how you've been doing it. My entire intention with this episode is, yes, to call you out, but also to say, like, I want to challenge you. What are you going to do after this episode? What are you going to do after this episode to change this? Everything about what I'm saying right now is scary. So I'm not going to say I want you to be fearless. I want you to be brave.
Be scared and do it anyway.
I want you to be brave. I want you to pull out your numbers. And if your average ticket is under 250, you already know why you're broke. You already know why you're broke. Write down the 3 services that you don't even like doing that much and cut them today. What would change if I stopped chasing more clients and started chasing better clients?
Consider this duality. Yeah, consider this duality too, because I was talking about like things not having to be the story about the town or the economy not having to be mutually exclusive, with the duality of you can also be successful while those things are true. If you consider yourself a very empathetic person, I do too. Like, believe me, I walk into a room and start crying if other people are crying, even though I'm not sad, right? Like, I'm empathetic myself. Most people in service industries are. That's why we are of service to other people. That doesn't need to not be true anymore because you have increased your prices, price some people out, and have strong policies in your business and charge a cancellation fee. Like, that's kind and empathetic. First of all, you're being kind to yourself and you're being true and honest to yourself, and you're taking aligned action so that you can enjoy your lively, like, do the thing that you love to do and serve the people that you love or care about. Maybe you don't love them, but care about your clients, so that you can serve them from a place of wholeness, so that you can serve them better, so that you can show up as a better version of yourself, because you haven't just been people pleasing and saying yes, and that's no problem and no worries, and letting people walk all over you. Believe me, it's going to be hard and scary. And then it's going to feel really effing refreshing and great. Because you're going to be living in your truth and your yes. And your yes is the most important thing. Other people might fit into that yes, or they might not, but not every client's for you. Not every human's for you. And you're not for everybody either. There is somebody for everybody. There's a hairstylist, a massage therapist, an esthetician, a nail tech for everybody. Maybe you're not that person for this person anymore. And that's okay. You've changed, you're growing and evolving, and as you should. As you should. If you don't want to feel bored and like be using the word burnout as a buzzword all the time, then you need to be making scary, uncomfortable changes and taking action and growing and getting uncomfortable so that you can ultimately feel more comfortable or whole. I don't like the word comfortable, whole, so that you can feel more aligned. So both things could be true. You could be empathetic and caring and love the people around you, and be really firm in what actually is your yes and what your no's are as well.
Yeah. Somebody that I really look up to in the business world, Layla Hormozi. I know I talk about her a lot, but
do you like Layla? I can't tell.
You can't tell. I know. And we even kind of look alike too. And it's
a little.
Well, when I went to like their headquarters, people were like, you look like Layla. I'm like, a little, yeah.
We look like we could be related, like all of us. Well,
yeah.
We are, but like, looks like she could be a sister or cousin.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. So one of the things she says is like, not nice, kind. And like, I really take that on because I spent a lot of my life being nice. Nice is not kind. They're not the same thing. So like, I might come off to people as like, oh, she's not nice. She's a little bit harsh. I am not nice. I'm kind.
I don't want to be nice.
I don't want to be nice. I want to be kind. And kind, like Brene Brown says, clear is kind. Nice is tiptoeing around people's feelings, avoiding hard conversations, and
chameleoning yourself into any space or room, masking. It's not helpful. It's not actually helpful for anybody.
Kind is being clear with yourself and with others. The secret is you don't need 50 more clients. You need to make more money with less clients. That's where freedom lives. And when you create that freedom, you have the ability to give more of yourself fully and wholly, like Jackie just said, to other things. Like you can go volunteer now because you're not working 6 fucking days a week, 12 hours a day.
You can go volunteer and you don't need to make a career out of it either, which is crazy cool.
You can go volunteer at the dog shelter and not think that like that's where you need to work now. Yeah. Like, look, I'm not here to sugarcoat it. Like, you don't need another business coach telling you how to post more on Instagram. Like, you need someone to grab you by the shoulders, and that's me, and remind you that you didn't get into this to be broke, tired, and resentful. You got into this to be creative and powerful and to have freedom and to have fun, to work with people you love, doing work you're obsessed with. And you have a choice. Like, you either keep doing what you're doing or you get pissed off enough to finally change it.
Yeah.
And if you're ready, really ready, I want you, if you're really listening, to DM me the word unhinged on Instagram. I'm going to challenge you to do that. And I'll send you a training and we'll have a conversation with me and we'll take it from there.
There you go. Unhinged. You heard it here first. DM Nikki Wildflower Unhinged.
There's enough broke stylists, enough broke service providers. I'm not interested in just sharing technical stuff with you and letting you live your life the same way and continue to burn out. I'm not interested in you DMing me and asking me for a color formula if you're not going to use it to make your life better. I'm not here to build more broke stylists. I'm here to build rich ones. Rich in time, rich in love, rich in joy.
Rich in life.
And money.
And rich. Period.
Yeah. So
and just straight up rich. Okay. So DM her the word. And listen, sometimes this is what I find. You know, the break room stylist or service provider who's complaining all the time. We've talked about that before, right? When you look at them and judge them, because I know you have. If you work in a suite space or you've worked in a setting of like in a corporate setting or for somebody else, right, in a commission space, like, you know the person. If you've judged them, like what have the judgments sounded like in your head? Like, oh my gosh, they lack self-awareness. They're playing the victim. If you can judge someone like that, then you've shown up in that way too. We all have. We've all been the victim. We've all lacked self-awareness and lacked taking accountability for our own actions and like how those have shaped our lives, right? Consider that the first thing that you have to do here in this whole process to be living a more aligned life and having a more aligned business is to tap in and tune into your self-awareness and take accountability for which parts of your life and your business have come from your own actions. We are the only thing we can control. We can't control other people's feelings, thoughts, or emotions. We can't control so many things around us. Like, we're really just out here on a spinning rock. And the only thing we truly have control over is ourselves, our actions, our words, our thoughts, right? And that's tough. Like, that's a hard pill to swallow because we're not perfect and we do have emotions. We're human beings. The first thing I want you to do is like write down the stories that you're telling yourself in your head that are just not helpful. And then take action that is like not adjacent to that, but opposite. This story is not true. And question it. I'm going to write down this story. Is this black or white, really? What would Nikki Wildflower tell me if she saw this story written down on a piece of paper? Okay, great. I'm going to take the action that Nikki Wildflower would take in this moment. It comes from self-awareness. You have to be willing to like take accountability and question your own thoughts, stories, and actions. Otherwise, you're not going to go anywhere.
You can borrow the audacity from me.
Sure. Just pretend that you're heard just for a little bit. And then it maybe will start to become your news story.
Mm-hmm.
I can do this, actually. What if it does work out when I do this thing that's scary?
Yeah, really. I hope that this episode woke something up inside of you.
Shook you a little.
That was the intention. We don't do any advertisements, anything like that. We don't take on sponsors. We keep these commercial free. So please, like, the way that we're able to continue to do that is if you like, subscribe, share it with your friends, and leave us a review. And we super appreciate every single one of you.
You know what? We've got an Instagram. It was created not that long ago. Slice Squad Spills on Instagram. Tag us in your story if you're listening. Let us know that you're listening. We want to see it. Let us know you're doing the things. And then DM Nikki saying unhinged to get a free training.
Yeah. Have the best
in
day.
regards to this podcast. Have a good day.
Thank you for listening to Slice Squad Spills. If you're enjoying the show, please subscribe, leave a rating and review on your favorite podcast platform. Your feedback is going to help us improve and attracts more listeners to the show. Please share with your fellow time slicers. And hey, if you're ready to optimize your time and double your income, we've got you covered.